Growing up as a teenager, I actually had something called dandruff. And I realized that actually dandruff is actually quite a common hair problem. And hence, when you go to any drugstore, any supermarkets, you will notice a whole load of shampoos which are meant for dandruff. But do you know that most dandruff shampoos don't actually work as expected? Now guys, in this video, we'll be talking about what causes dandruff and what is the one product that you should definitely go and get if you are suffering from dandruff and you want an effective way to get rid of your dandruff immediately. But guys, before we continue with the video, we realize that most of you are not subscribers, so if you do not mind smashing the subscribe button, it helps with the YouTube algorithm tremendously, helps our channel so that we can pump out more educational videos like this one. Hey guys, I'm Dr Ingky, your digital skin doctor, and welcome to Skynfyx, the place where we break down very common skin issues and recommend you products that you can find from the comfort of your own home. Now today, let's talk about dandruff. Now, dandruff is pretty common. There are statistics that show roughly 5 to 10% of the entire world population suffering from dandruff at the moment or previously have had dandruff. If you do not know what is dandruff, it's that scalp condition whereby it itches all the time, and as you scratch it, white flaky skin cells, or sometimes it can be a little bit red as well, falls over your blouse, your shirt, or over your collars as well. So in this video, we'll be discussing what causes dandruff, what are the different types of dandruff, and how do you actually solve dandruff problem effectively. So there are actually 5 main causes of dandruff. The first main cause of dandruff is oily scalp. Now, oily scalp can be attributed to a few things. Can be attributed to genetics, just like acne, attributed to genetics, attributed to hormones, whereby there's an increase in DHT, dihydrotestosterone, the same hormone that causes acne formation. It also causes your scalp to produce a little bit too much sebum. And what happens is when you have oily skin, your skin now gets a little bit more irritated easily, leading to other sort of problems whereby, number one, your scalp is oily, and number two, what happens is the scalp actually, it's a good medium now for fungal infections. And then this particular fungal infection can lead to dandruff issues. Now, the second cause of dandruff is the total opposite. Well, the first cause was oily skin. The second one can be dehydrated or dry scalp. Now what happens is when your scalp becomes too dry, because of multiple reasons, can be caused again because of changes in your hormone levels, changes in climate, or maybe you're using a very high hot setting from your hair dryer, and that actually causes an over drying of your scalp. And what happens when your scalp becomes too dry, the skin starts to flake off, and hence you have something like a dandruff. Now the third issue is actually pretty common, and we're seeing in a lot of people in the urban areas, whereby you're wearing a cap for long periods of time, or in certain Islamic countries, you're wearing a hijab for long periods of time. Now what happens is when you wear cap or hijab, especially when you wear it too tight, then what happens is you tend to sweat underneath the cap or your hijab, and now you have a combination of a place that is humid and a place that is dark, and this can predispose your scalp to fungal infections as well. And of course, last one is sensitivity to hair products. Now, just like our skin, your scalp can be sensitive to a lot of different things. Example, a lot of people are actually sensitive to hair dyes. So if you're always dyeing your hair, what happens is then your scalp becomes easily irritated, especially if you have an underlying skin condition like atopic dermatitis or eczema, or maybe your shampoo just contains too much additives or too much preservatives. Now all of this can lead to skin sensitivity, and hence it can lead to dandruff issues. Now when we're talking about dandruff, there's actually different types of dandruff, and there are different types of scalp conditions that look like dandruff. So the 2 types of dandruff is, first is due to a fungal infection, and secondly is due to seborrheic dermatitis. So there are 2 types of dandruff. The first type is due to something called seborrheic dermatitis, and the second type is due to a fungal infection. So if you find yourself constantly scratching your scalp and you realize it's red, it's itchy, and at the same time it's scaly, this is what we call seborrheic dermatitis. Now, seborrheic dermatitis is a very common scalp condition whereby you have excessive sebum production and at the same time a mix of mild fungus infection caused by a fungus called Malassezii. And when you have these two together, what you get is you get something called seborrheic dermatitis. Now, seborrheic dermatitis can occur in baby and we call it cradle cap. But for babies with cradle cap, they do not require any sort of treatment. A lot of times you just hydrate their scalp and the seborrheic dermatitis disappears. However, that is not the same with adults. And in adults, as your seborrheic dermatitis gets worse, then what happens is it starts to itch, it starts to flake, and as you scratch it, it can even start bleeding. Now, the second form of dandruff is a fungal infection dandruff. Now, this is generally whereby you get this whitish flakes appearing, right? And generally, it appears on your clothes or even, sometimes at your desk. Now, it's itchy and sometimes it can be a little bit foul smelling as well. So this is actually caused by a fungus called Malassezii, the same fungus that is actually predominant in seborrheic dermatitis. However, with Malassezii infection, you can only treat it with antifungal creams or antifungal shampoos. Now, however, there are certain scalp conditions that can easily be confused with dandruff. And here are two scalp conditions confused with dandruff. The first is dry scalp, whereby your scalp is just dry and dehydrated, and dehydrated skin tends to be mildly itchy as well. And what you get is you get this whitish flakes and your scalp is itchy. But the difference is your scalp is not foul smelling because there is no fungal infection. Now, the second scalp condition easily confused with dandruff is scalp psoriasis. Now, scalp psoriasis is red, is itchy, but what you have is you have silvery patches on your scalp. And more commonly, scalp psoriasis appears at the hairline areas. That means around the location of the neck and around the location of the hairline, between your hairline and your forehead. And more often than not, scalp psoriasis bleeds as you scratch, but it reacts very well to steroid creams. But we're not here to talk about dry scalp, neither are we here to talk about scalp psoriasis. We are going to target just dandruff. So what can you buy outside at your local drugstore or online to fight your dandruff issues? Now, there's one main ingredient that you should look for in your shampoo to fight dandruff effectively. And that ingredient is selenium sulfide. Selenium sulfide is an antifungal ingredient which can be found in some over-the-counter shampoos. Selenium sulfide generally comes in two strengths, 1% and 2.5%. Now, the 2.5% selenium sulfide are prescription only, so it means that it can only be found in doctors' offices. However, you can get selenium sulfide 1% from most major drugstores. So what selenium sulfide does is it reduces the activity of the fungus. And this fungus actually contributes to the formation of dandruff. However, antifungal or selenium sulfide can also help reduce a little bit of sebum production. Now, this sebum is also crucial for the fungal growth, so lesser sebum, hence lesser fungal growth. Now, how does it do it? Selenium sulfide has a little bit of effect on your dihydrotestosterone levels as well. So how selenium sulfide reduces sebum? It's by affecting the amount of dihydrotestosterone that your scalp produces. Now, when you pair them both together, it makes a very potent solution for your dandruff issues. Now, I'm going to give you an example of one of the more popular dandruff shampoos that I generally recommend for my patients. Are any of your family or friends suffering from dandruff? Copy the link of this video and send it to them and make sure they watch the entire video from start to end. Enter Selsun Blue Shampoo. Now, this particular shampoo is one of the original anti-dandruff shampoos that you can find in most drugstores. Now, what it contains selenium sulfide 1%. And more often than not, selenium sulfide 1% is more than sufficient to control majority of the dandruff issues. But on top of that, it also contains something called menthol. So as you're using the shampoo and as you shampoo your scalp, you realize that there's this cooling sensation or cooling effect. And that is from menthol. Now, menthol has a direct effect on the microcirculation of your scalp. And that helps with wound healing, especially from all the scratching because your scalp is itchy. And at the same time, increase hair formation or reduce hair loss. Because in people with dandruff issues and after scratching too much, what happens is your nails tend to damage your scalp, and then some people actually have mild hair loss due to dandruff. Now, this particular formulation is the Selsun Blue Pro X Anti-Dandruff Shampoo Extra Strength, and it has honey inside. And you must be wondering to yourself, why does it actually have honey? Now, the honey extract or the honey included inside the dandruff shampoo helps with hydration. It means that now your dry and irritated skin is now well hydrated, improves the menthol, improves microcirculation, better wound repair, and the selenium sulfide reduces the fungal infection. Now all in all, it makes a potent combination with all these 3 ingredients lumped in together. Now what I actually like about this particular shampoo is not only helps against dandruff, it also helps against seborrheic dermatitis. So if you're someone suffering from seborrheic dermatitis, you can also use the shampoo. Now, if you apply on other areas, right, now this is off-label, right? If you apply on other areas, it helps with fungal infections of your body, especially when you have a condition called pityriasis versicolor. It's whereby you have these whitish patches on your face or on your body, and hence you can use the shampoo roughly about once a day to reduce those fungal infections. So, how often do you use this particular shampoo? It's not like the run-of-the-mill shampoo whereby you use it on a daily basis or once every couple of days. For selenium sulfide infused shampoo, you need to only use it once or twice a week, depending on how severe your dandruff is. The more severe, the more often you use it. But don't use it for more than 3 times a week. What you should do is, you should damp your hair. So during the shower itself, damp your hair, squeeze a little bit of selenium sulfide shampoo, leave it on your scalp. All right, massage it into the scalp, leave it on your scalp, leave it for roughly about 4 to 5 minutes. Give time for the selenium sulfide and all the ingredients to actually absorb into the top layer of your scalp, and then rinse it off. And after you rinse it off, you don't have to actually re-shampoo your hair again, you just leave it to dry. And remember, if you're washing your scalp at night, do not sleep with a damp scalp, because that will then increase the chances of getting dandruff. So either air dry your hair or blow dry it with cool air, not hot air, but cool air. And if you're shampooing during the daytime, before you wear your cap or your hijab, make sure your hair is not damp before you wear your cap or your hijab. So how quickly can you actually see results from selenium sulfide shampoo like Selsun Blue? Generally, it's about 14 days. It means that in just 2 weeks, you should be able to notice that your scalp is less itchy, less irritated, and there's less flakiness. Use the shampoo until the dandruff completely disappears, and then you can actually stop the shampoo completely. Remember, this is a treatment shampoo and not to be confused with your regular shampoo which you use on a regular basis. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Let me know if you have ever used Selsun Blue shampoo in the past, or what other antifungal shampoos have you used. Do not forget to like and subscribe, but more importantly, turn on the bell button because we release new videos on a weekly basis and sometimes even 2 videos per week. That's it from me. I'm Dr. Ingky, your digital skin doctor, and always remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay informed. Are you tired of wasting time and money on your skin, but nothing works? We are here to help. Skynfyx is a platform that provides personal care education completely free. Skynfyx is run by skin doctors and skincare experts. You can chat and consult with our skin doctors without ever leaving your home. Other than free advice, Skynfyx also provides tailor-made solutions for your skin problem with customized medical-grade skincare delivered right to your doorstep. Skynfyx, your digital skin doctor.